Apples sell for 25 cents and peaches sell for 15 cents. If Abby sold a total of 10 pieces of fruit for $2.10, how many apples did she sell? Just like this last section we did, I'm going to solve this problem by creating a chart, putting a variable in there, and writing an equation. The nice thing about all of these problems in this section, since they deal with cost or income or value, is that your chart's pretty much going to be exactly the same. For this example, we're dealing with fruit, so I'm going to start off with the number of pieces of fruit. And to that, I'm going to multiply that by the value per piece, or the cost per piece, you could think. And that's going to equal the total cost of each kind of fruit. The two fruits that I have in this problem are apples and peaches. And there's one very obvious piece of information that I can throw in my chart right away, and that's the first sentence tells me the value per piece. Apples are 25 cents and peaches are 15 cents. My problem, the more difficult part of this, is going to be filling in the number of pieces. Now I know that I have 10 total pieces, and I know that I want to figure out the number of apples per sold, but how can I use that information to fill in this column? Well, if I want to know how many apples were sold, let's make that my variable x. Now, if x number of apples are sold, and I know that this plus this equals 10, well, let's think about this. If I know that let's say 4 apples were sold. Well, then I know 6 peaches were sold because 10 minus 4 is 6. And well, maybe only 1 apple was sold. Well, then I know that 9 peaches were sold because 10 minus 1 is 9. So basically this number right here, this value or expression, is going to be 10 minus the number of apples sold. And in our case, that's x. Once I have the first two columns filled out, I can multiply to find the rest. Well, x times 25 is 25x, and right here I'll need to throw down parentheses. This is going to be 15 times 10 minus x. Now I can go and use this last piece of information that I haven't used, along with my information from my chart, to write the equation. The cost of the apples plus the cost of the peaches should equal $2.10. Now I'm going to use 210 because I used these values as cents as well. So my labels have to match. I'm not going to use 2.10 here. Now I just have to solve this equation for x. Combine like terms, I have 10x. Subtract 150. X equals 6. Ooh, excuse me. If x equals 6, that means, if x equals 6, that means Abby must have sold 6 apples. You have 40 coins, all dimes or nickels, worth $2.90. How many nickels do you have? Well, as we've been doing in this section, I'm going to set up a chart. And like most, or actually all of the questions in this section, my first column is going to be the number of pieces I have, and in this case, they're coins. The value of the coins, which of coins, and then this is going to be the total amount of money each coin brings us. Now, what types of coins do I have here? I only have dimes or nickels. And there's something very obvious that I can I can fill in about the dimes or nickels, and that's the value. I know that dimes are worth 10 cents and nickels are worth 5 cents. The question again becomes difficult. What do I fill in for the number of coin column? Well, I want to know how many nickels I have, so that's what I'm going to put as my variable. And what I know about the nickel and dimes is they add up to be 40 total coins. So again, if I look over those examples, like if I have 10 nickels, I must have 30 dimes. Well, how did I get that 30? That's 40 minus 30. Sorry, excuse me, 40 minus 10 is 30. Well, if I change that around and let's say I only have 5 nickels, well then I know I'm going to have 35 dimes because that is 40 minus 35. So this up here must be 40 minus the number of nickels that I have. Since I don't actually know the number of nickels, I'm going to use x. Now I can multiply across the table. 10 times 40 minus x. And this is going to be 5x. What piece of information have I not used yet? Well, that's the fact that total, everything put together is worth $2.90. So I'm going to have the amount of money I have in dimes plus the amount of money I have in nickels equals $2.90. The amount of money I have in dimes plus the amount of money I have in nickels equals $2.90. Notice again I wrote 290 as cents. Let's solve this now. Distribute. Combine like terms. Subtract. That would be 110, I believe. Negative 110. Divide by negative 5, and I get a positive 22. Oops, excuse me. That means I have 22 nickels.